Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name's Janelle and I upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday. In today's video, I'm so excited because I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this makeup look using all super affordable makeup products. Everything in this video is under $15. So it just goes to show you can create a bomb makeup look without breaking the bank. I have truly found some like gems on the drugstore that I love more than high-end makeup. So you'll be seeing a lot of those options and choices in this video. If you guys like watching makeup tutorials, fashion content, lifestyle videos, all of that, then definitely consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Without any more rambling, let's get into how I got this super summery makeup look. Love you guys. I already started off by doing my brows and I primed my eyelids. To fill in my brows, I use the, alright, so I can't find my brow pencil, but to fill in my brows, I use the Maybelline, I think it's the Lasting Brow. Again, everything will be linked down below. Then I went ahead and used my Got To Be Glued styling gel as my eyelash glue. This is so affordable. I think I got this one for like $6 for a pack of 2 of these, and they just really hold the brow hairs up so you get that feather. Then what I did is I set my brows using a loose powder. This one is by Maybelline. They look intense now, but they will kind of like tame down as I do the foundation and all of that. I also prime my eyelids using my e.l.f. Putty primer. Now, the one I have dried out super quick, so I had to like reactivate it a little bit with the e.l.f. hydrating setting spray, and then I had to use a little bit and really like take my time blending it in with a concealer brush. I don't know if I just got a bad batch of this or if that's how they all are, but just letting you guys know. So I think I want to start with my eyes first. I was debating between these two palettes. Kokie Artist palette in the shade Goddess, which is these beautiful, just like warm tones. I've used this palette before on my channel and I love it. Then I also was going through my drawers and I saw my two Jaclyn Hill kind of like full eyeshadow palettes. Now these are definitely probably expired. These I picked up when they first launched, and I remember I like kind of hesitated on really like diving in and playing with them because of all the drama, I guess you could say, that went around it. Like this palette was really speaking to me, so I kind of want to play with it.
What to do?
Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of both. So I want to start off with the shade Access. This color is just really drawing me. Blend that out, I'll be using this JH31 brush. To be honest, the main reason I think I wanted to use this is to have this color kind of like peeking through over all the other shades. And I'm just gonna kind of like stamp it on my lid first. I really wanted to get a drugstore look up for you guys because I feel like I've been trying out a lot of new high-end makeup, which I love, but I also love and use drugstore makeup on the daily. I just want to make sure I'm showing you guys like a variety of content. So I'm really just focusing on like slowly building that color up. I want it to be very blown out and faded, but I still want that color to stand out up against my skin tone. Totally use just one palette for this look, but I don't know, I just really want to play with both. So I'm going to apply this color right here, a little bit lower in the crease. I like stamping the color first, that way I can get an idea of the shape that I really want to buff and blow it out into. Because sometimes what happens if you just start wiggling it back and forth and blowing it out right away, you can kind of like lose the shape that you want that will like best accommodate your eye shape. I'm gonna take that first blending brush and just kind of like go over everything. So how are you guys doing? Is there anything new in you guys' life? Please let me know in the comments down below or DM me on Instagram. I love to like get to know you guys and like feel connected with you guys. If there's anything you guys ever want to talk about or need somebody to reach out to, please never hesitate to message me on Instagram, DM me. Like, I'm always here for majority. Now I'm gonna take this color in the palette, the shade Agent, and I'm just gonna bring a little bit more depth into the crease, and I think that's what I want to like stop at as far as crease colors go. I don't want it to be too muddy. I really want to keep like the bright kind of like blown out blend. And sometimes I find if you like try to be too YouTube makeup artist-y and you start blending out and using too many products, it can kind of like dilute the look and take away from the impact of it. Sometimes less really is more. So I'm gonna pick that up with the same brush that I was using. This is the JH35. Again, I always start in this inner part just because it works out for my eye shape. but definitely take a look at your eye shape and see what works for you. My eyes droop downward, so I find by like deepening this part here, it kind of like lowers this area, and then once it like fades out and up, it creates the illusion that this part is more lifted, even though I have said puppy dog eyes. Alright, let's just go for it. I'm gonna take this shade called Guilt Trip in the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm gonna pick that up with this MAC 239 brush, coat both sides of my brush, and then wet it with some setting spray. I'm just gonna use this e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. Put it in the center first. That way the most like color payoff is there, and then just kind of like twinkle it out. If that makes sense. So it kind of like fades into the inner and outer portions of the eye. So to do that, I'm gonna take another MAC 239 brush or any other clean shader brush. This is from like a holiday collection from like 2012. Oh my gosh, these were my first MAC brushes. This one right here. I remember going into the MAC store to get a MAC 217. And the lady was like, oh, well, our holiday kits are out. You can get the MAC 217 and 4 other brushes for $50. I guess it was like supposed to be my birthday / Christmas gift or something like that. Sister was like, do you want to do that? I'll get it for you. Whatever, sister. And yeah, I still have all of them. I'm gonna go back in with that small blending brush that has whatever extra of like those slightly darker inner crease colors. And I'm just gonna pat the edges in here and on the outer edge. I'm not really trying to do a halo eye. I just want to be most prominent the color here, so it's like a soft halo eye, I guess you could say. And then what I'm gonna do is take a smaller brush and take the shade VIP, use that in the inner corner to brighten everything up. Again, I'll wet my brush just lightly. I was not expecting it to be this bright. Take whatever leftover gold that is on the brush that we packed this shade on with, and I'm gonna use that to just tap over here and blend it up, just because I don't want it too bright. See, that just softened up the highlight a little bit. Okay, so I wanted to play around with the idea of adding a little bit of this e.l.f. glitter eye topper in the shade Flirty Birdy, and just applying a tiny bit to the center of the eye. I added a little bit here and I kind of liked how it looks, so I'm going to do the same to the other side. And my favorite way to apply this product is by applying a little bit on the back of my hand, picking it up with the brush and then applying it, because I find when you apply it with the applicator it comes with, it can tend to break up the shadow. If you do it this way, it applies it really nice and just gives like a soft twinkle to the eye. Big blending brush, just blend over everything and make sure it is all seamless. I'm gonna come back to the eyes in a second, but for right now I want to prime my skin using this Revlon Prime Plus Brightening Skin Tone Evening Primer. That's a really long name. I remember using it for like a few weeks, but then somehow it just ended up back in my drawer and I never used it again. Now I have recently been really enjoying this Tula skincare primer that kind of like evens up your skin too. So I'm excited to use this again and see if it's like kind of similar, like a drugstore version. Yeah, it has like that really nice kind of like golden tint that will brighten the skin. So then I'm gonna pick up a little bit extra of that primer, and then with a Q-tip, I'm gonna use that to clean up the edges of my shadow. This will also help kind of like correct and brighten up my under eyes a little more. Alright, and then since I do have some larger pores that I want to kind of like fill in, I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Pore-less Putty Primer. This is my favorite primer of all time, more than any high-end primer. So if you just wanted to use one primer, I definitely suggest this one. This is the universal one, so it's like truly great for so many skin types. I think I'm gonna apply it with a small brush and then, like I said, just focus it in the areas that need some pore filling. This is a JHOA brush. I promise I was not intending to use all these Jaclyn Hill Morphe products. Her brushes though, collaborated with Morphe, are truly some of my faves though. Okay, yeah, see how that just like smoothed all of that out? There's one thing I like about the Tula primer is that it is definitely more pricey, but it evens up the skin tone and it blurs the skin and it leaves you like a tacky, more hydrated finish. So for foundation today, initially I had out my L'Oreal Too Much Lumi because I love this and I haven't used it in a minute. And then I also had my CoverGirl Skin Milk that I absolutely love. I haven't used it in a while. These both give you like a very dewy, luminous finish, very medium buildable coverage. It literally, they apply just like high-end foundation. However, after assessing my skin and recognizing that that primer that I used was pretty hydrating, and then the moisturizer that I use underneath was very hydrating. Due to those reasons, I want to switch up my foundation because I don't want this look to be super like slippery and slimy. So I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Freshwear Foundation. This one is in the shade, I believe 470 off. Yes, in the shade 470 Radiant Honey. So I'm gonna apply some of my L'Oreal True Match Glotion before I apply the foundation, but instead of applying it everywhere, I'm only gonna focus it on like the high points of my face, like my cheekbones, a little bit above my brows, a little bit on my chin, because I do want a little bit of that luminous effect, but I want to control where I place it so I don't look like a slimy, greasy mess. I'm just picking some up with my finger and applying it in those areas. Truly love this product. It reminds me a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, except these are only like 9 to 13. Blend it out. These are my favorite sponges. They are from Amazon. You get a pack of 10 for like $8. They are the best sponges that I've ever used, and they are so affordable. I use this foundation in a little bit, and I love this foundation, so I'm actually pretty excited. Apply it with a flat brush to the center of my face. This was like one of my favorite foundations for the longest. It still is. I just have kind of forgotten about it and haven't used it. But I remember when I first got it, I like would not pick up anything else because it just gave such nice coverage, but it was buildable. It wasn't too heavy and cakey feeling. It wore seriously beautiful throughout the day. If I ever had plans after work and I worked a long shift, I would always go to this foundation because it was like the only thing that would still look like I just put it on at the end of my work shift. For underneath of my eyes, I'm going to be using my Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. This is one of my favorite concealers ever. It gives you good coverage. It's a nice satin matte finish. It stays put all day. And yeah, it's just it performs honestly very much like a high-end concealer. I'm going to try not to glob on too much because it is a very coverage concealer. And I'm going to pick some up that I applied on the back of my hand before blending it. That way it doesn't pick up any excess. And I'm just going to start pushing this into my skin. Also bringing it up on the sides of my nose and around the nose. And I'm going to try not to bring this too close to like my lower lash line. That way it doesn't crease up really bad, because my under eye crevices have really been getting bad. I have finally reached that age where I am embracing just getting older. I always hear people like being like, oh, I turned whatever age this year, like, and they feel so old. And I always used to feel that way too. But then I think about it and I always tell them too, I'm like, okay, so what, you want to be 21 again, right? But I'm like, would you want to be the same person you were at 21? And they're like, yeah, no. I'm like, see, getting older, it's like, whatever, sure, you age, you get wrinkles, things like that, but it's like, if you think about it, would you actually want to go back in time and be that same person that you were then? Like, think about how far you've come, how much you have grown. And whenever I think about that, I'm like, holy moly, I would never want to have to go back to where I was then. The amount of growth and time that it's taken, like, to think about reverting back to that would just be so annoying. I also feel like your late 20s are nice because you're still young, and your 30s too, oh shoot, even 40s. You're still young, but you are just more financially stable to be young and actually enjoy and do things that you really want to do. Whereas like in your early 20s, typically you're young, but you're broke, so you can't even do the things that you really want to do. Yeah, that's my philosophy. If you are feeling any type of way about your next birthday, whatever, just think about how you wouldn't want to trade places with your older self. All right, and then to contour. So normally I love using my Maybelline Fit Me foundation stick to contour, but lately I've also been liking to use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade 50, and I've been liking this to contour because I'm able to really like apply a little bit on the back of my hand, work it in a brush, and it's just a little bit easier to do that with this product. Not to mention the color on this is beautiful. Wait, I also picked up this e.l.f. pore-less putty. But I really love this one. I think I'm going to use this for my nose contour and use this to bronze the face. This also bronzes the face beautifully, but I really love this technique with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. It just like really melts into the skin. This product though applies beautifully on bare skin and as like obviously even on top of makeup. And I don't remember what color I got it in, but I'll try to find it and link it. But yeah, this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Bronzer, very similar to like my Chanel Tan de Soleil, except this is only like $6. So I'm first gonna start off with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer and put some down the sides of my nose. Also, the reason why this is great for contour is because the undertone of the one that I got is a little bit more like ashy. Taking one of my favorite contour brushes by BH Cosmetics, I'm just gonna work that concealer, the Fit Me in the shade 50, into the brush and start patting it on my forehead. So guys, I just want to quickly state, like, do people not believe in healthy conversations anymore and healthy disagreements on just like anything? Like, how come it's like you have to agree with a certain thought process or way of thinking these days? And if not, you can't be tolerated. Conversations cannot be had from two opposing sides without like both opposing sides like having people that are just not opening to hearing out the thought process of the other side. I feel like with so much going on in the world recently, I look at things for what they are. Sounds messed up, but I try to have common sense with a lot of situations and just truly see both sides and be like, okay, that side is right in this aspect, that side is right in this aspect. And this goes with like so many things. I don't just pick one side, because the fact of the matter is, I always remember seeing a post, it's like when you follow Jesus, you kind of take on his, you definitely take on his mindset. Humans are making these opinions and positions and taking stances, so there's gonna be imperfections in them, but then there's gonna be things that are right from either side. But like, nobody cares to have conversations and nobody cares to hear somebody out, and I'm so over it. Like, I'm gonna take some more of that putty bronzer and just put some here. Like, I truly feel like people have just, everything is a debate. You can't have one opinion about one current event without it offending somebody else. It's just way too much. And the mindset and mentality that I've had to take on is that follower of Christ, like, I rather be loved by God than by the world. So I know that there will be stances and beliefs that I have that people will probably end up hating me for. Like, with how intolerant and toxic the climate is, I just know that things will come about where my stance, obviously with God, is going to be, so again, not tolerated. And I've had to literally talk myself and be like, okay, you're going to be okay with that. The point of being here, and even my platform, I know it's not the biggest, but it's not to please the world. I'm just using my talent, obviously, to share my knowledge, but more than anything, the thing that's most important to me is what God thinks of me, and obviously trying to spread his love and his word whenever I can without forcing it down anyone's throat. And to the point where I'm like, I don't have to answer to anybody as long as I'm right with God and I'm doing things according to his will. Like, that turned really deep and dark quick. And I'm not even talking about anything specific. Like I said, there's just been so many events, and I know I cannot be the only one that feels this way. And then for blush today, I'm just gonna be using my e.l.f. putty blush. This is in the shade Bora Bora. This is like the most stunning pinky, but it has a little bit of warmth in it. So pretty. For highlight, I'm gonna take my Maybelline liquid strobe cream and put a little bit of that on the high points of my face. For the cream highlight, I'm gonna mix a little bit of the Maybelline strobing liquid. It's like this really pretty icy color. And then I'm gonna mix a little bit of my L'Oreal True Match Glotion that I use. This one was in the shade medium, because the Maybelline one is like really bright, and then this one's more of like a tanny tone. Just gonna pick that up with my beauty sponge. All right, so then I'm gonna set my face using my Maybelline Lasting Fix setting spray. All right, then I'm gonna take a powder puff. This one I got from Amazon. It's literally like almost the size of my head. It's huge. I'm gonna pick up some of my Kokie translucent powder, put a little bit in the cap here, pick it up with the powder puff, and we're just gonna start powdering our face. I also, if you don't like loose powders, I really love this pressed powder by No. 7. It literally like blurs your skin, sets your makeup, keeps it on all day. It is such an amazing drugstore powder. I don't know, but though lately I've been really into setting my face with loose powders. I recently came upon this like Kevin Aquan book that was like literally made in the 90s, and he's talking about all of these different like techniques and stuff for makeup, and it is so fascinating to literally like watch a makeup tutorial, but it's in a physical book. I want to recreate one of the looks on my channel, so let me know if you guys want to see that. But he used like transparent powder to set the face, so ever since I read that in there, I tried it and I really have been liking it. I feel like it sets the makeup without looking too cakey. For my bronzer, I want to use this Alexa Ren X ColourPop bronzing palette. Now, to be honest, I don't know if they still make this, so if they do not still make this, then I would use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I swear by this bronzer. It is such a good bronzer just all around, whether it's compared to like drugstore or high-end bronzer. It's just a good bronzer to have. I just feel like in every drugstore video I use this bronzer, So I want to switch it up and try this. So yeah, how do you guys feel about the state of the world right now? One thing that has been helping me is restating the Bible verse Timothy 11:7, for God doesn't give you a spirit of fear but a power, love, and a sound mind. That helps me so much. That honestly helps me with everything. I get bad social anxiety sometimes too, so like before I go into a situation like that, I'll say that to myself, or just like when I see things going on, I just will restate that verse and recognize that it does not give me a spirit of fear. This is all prophetic. These are the times that we're in. This is not my home, so I can't get caught up in what the media and what the news is trying to say, because they don't know my God. And so I encourage you, no matter what you're facing in life, or if you just get caught up in the current events of this world, we obviously have to pray for, you know, the brokenness and the people who are lost and hurting. But at the same time, we cannot live in fear. We cannot be paralyzed by fear, because that doesn't come from God. Just be wise, be smart, take care of our health, but also not live in fear. And this is all stuff that has been just so heavy on my heart lately, so that's why I couldn't just make a video and not talk about it. Like, I'm sorry if it sounds pressing or if I sound negative. It's never my intent. I always want my content to kind of be like an escape. But at the same time, I can't film and not share what's been on my heart and what's been heavy on my mind lately. Alright, so then to set my under eyes, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. The reason why I'm using this for under my eyes is because it has a little bit more color and like coverage to it. This reminds me a lot of my Huda Beauty powder, except this one's only $5. So I applied that along the sides of my nose, and then I also kind of like baked underneath of my bronzer just to re-chisel that area. And I'm going to wipe away this bake. You know what I didn't think about? What powder blush I'm going to use. I think I have an idea of one. This is leaving a really bad white cast on camera. In person though, I promise I don't look this light. But we need to bring some life back, so I'm going to apply some of my e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. So for blush today, I kind of want to mix two. So we have this one by ColourPop. It's in the shade Rom-Com. This looks super similar to MAC Burnt Pepper. I also have this e.l.f. one in the shade Fuchsia Fusion. Now this one is definitely expired. I haven't used it in so long, and it kind of reminds me of this one that I really like by like just the regular Sephora brand. So I want to give it a try. But yeah, you could totally just pick one to use. I just wanted to see. Okay, so the color of this e.l.f. one is so pretty. However, I do not like the legit chunks of sparkle in it. So I'm gonna go over top with the ColourPop one. And then for highlight today, I'm gonna be using this one by Makeup Revolution. It's a shimmer brick. The lid broke on it. My biggest pet peeve in life. However, the color of this is so pretty that normally I'll like throw away products whenever that happens, but this one I just couldn't. It's too pretty. I'm just gonna apply some down the center of my nose, lip, and then with that same brush that I use for my blush, I'm just going to lightly sweep through it and apply it to my cheeks and above my brows. So I'm going to start with my lower lash line for the eyes, and I'm going to take this color with my MAC 239 brush. I'm going to focus it more like toward the center of my eye and then out. I'm going to take my MAC 221 brush and mix these two colors here. The reason why I'm using a slightly fluffy brush is because I don't want it like too intense there. I just want it to lightly like fade into here. Then taking my L'Oreal Infallible powder in the shade 180, I pick up this dense Morphe E15 brush and use that to just kind of erase underneath here, so that way my lower lash line is super clean and precise. You could totally skip this step. It also just gives a little bit more coverage and brightness underneath of the eye. This color in the palette, it's like such a beautiful chocolate brown, and I'm going to use that to create like a wing with a small angled brush. Before I do that though, I'm going to take a little bit more of my e.l.f. glitter kind of like eye topper thing. I'm going to do a soft twinkle on the lower lash line, super lightly just pressing this down. I don't want a line of glitter because I feel like that would look a little tacky. Just like a light little wash. So now again, just taking that chocolate color and angled brush. once once I get to the tail, I'm just gonna lightly little flick up. Not really gonna do much, but it'll create a little bit of a shadow, and then I'm gonna do a little flick there. Again, it's not gonna do much, it's just gonna create a little bit more of a contrast onto the eyelid. So like always, I'm gonna do my mascara, lashes, all that off camera. For the lashes though, I am gonna be using this new product. It's a liquid eyeliner that works as a lash glue. So you literally, it's just like a regular black liner, you place it like you would a liner, and then your lashes will stick right onto your mascara. I'll use my Essence mascara on the top and bottom lashes. So amazing. They are the Kokie Cosmetics lip veneers. They are a liquid lipstick, but they stay glossy. They don't move. Like your hair will get stuck to it and go like that across your face. It won't even pick it up and drag it. This color right here, the color came off of it, but I will leave it linked down below. Actually, I'll do this. So for the lip pencil, I'm gonna use the NYX lip pencil in the shade Whipped Caviar. NYX lip pencils are the bomb.com. They literally perform just like MAC lip pencils. They are nice and matte, they don't smudge. And then for the outer corners of my lip pencil, I'm going to take NYX Downtown Beauty. It's more of like a rich brown. I just applied a little bit on like the outer perimeters just to give a little bit more depth. And then for gloss, I'm going to use this Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Silk. Next, I'm going to take this stunning LA Girl in the shade Penny. It's like champagne golden tone. Apply some of that to my waterline. So for lashes today, I'm going to be applying these Kiss 01 lashes. I'm going to cut them in half though. So I cut them in half, but I'm like getting rid of that longer section, and I'm only going to be using that kind of like front part of the lash at the end of my eye. This is the completed makeup look. I am so obsessed with how it came out. I think this is like the perfect, if you're on vacation, like a night out type of makeup look, or just like a fun summer look. Like always, I'll leave everything linked down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and if you guys, I need to work on the stuttering problem. If you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified every Wednesday and Friday when I upload. It would truly mean the world to me. I've been working so hard to put out good content for you guys. So yeah, just don't forget to help a girl out and give it a thumbs up if you did like it. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs down. All right, I love you guys. I pray that you all stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.